Hello everyone, I'm NDL Jamer. Today, I'm starting this series to help you understand more about Pokemon. It will help you choose the best Pokemon to play in any Pokemon game. Most Pokemon games share similar skills and traits, with the difference being how skills are acquired. In some games, Pokemon learn skills as they level up, while in others, they can only learn them if you have TM or TR discs, etc. This episode is all about grass-type starter Pokemon. Truly iconic, right? A generation's popularity often gets a boost if its starter Pokemon have strong effects. Of course, the quality of these starters varies, with some being exceptionally well designed and others not so much. This will be a short series ranking all the grass-type starters from the best to the most underwhelming ones on this planet. Naturally, this ranking is purely my subjective opinion, so if you trainers have different thoughts, don't hesitate to share your own rankings of these grass-type starters with everyone. And of course, it would be a shame if you didn't drop a like and subscribe to support me for future videos. As a token of my gratitude, I'll offer you virtual bouquets to thank those of you who've subscribed and supported the channel. One more note, although there are 9 generations, Decidueye from Gen 7 has an additional form with a completely different playstyle. So there will be 10 grass-type starters in this ranking, making it a top 10 list by chance. Without further ado, let's dive in. Rank 10 goes to Meganium, and honestly, there's not much to say about how neglected it has been by the game developers. Despite being a starter Pokemon, its stat distribution couldn't be more underwhelming. None of its stats stand out, and that's already a problem. On top of that, being a grass type, one of the types with the most weaknesses, makes things worse. If it was going to be a defensive Pokemon, it should at least excel in that area. But no, its attack stat is slightly above average, and its defensive stats are only 100 each, not high enough to make it a reliable tank. Unless it had strong disruptive moves like Spore or Sleep Powder, it's hard to justify its defensive role. Instead, all it gets are Poison Powder and Leech Seed. Sure, those are usable, but let's be real. Poison Powder? Against Poison or Steel types, it's completely useless. If it can learn Poison Powder, why not just give it Sleep Powder? A move that only has 75% accuracy anyway? Was that too much to ask for? Its ability, Leaf Guard, is defensive in nature, but how is it supposed to utilize that when its defensive stats aren't impressive? In short, the way Meganium was designed feels so lackluster that listing all its shortcomings would take an eternity. Rank 9 goes to Torterra. In the game, Torterra's performance in battles seems to have slightly improved. Its unique grass-ground dual typing, however, leaves it with a glaring weakness: a 4-bites damage vulnerability to Ice-type moves. On the bright side, its stats are quite balanced, giving it a slightly sturdier presence. The Shell Armor ability is particularly useful, preventing critical hits and increasing its survivability when paired with moves like Curse. In a Trick Room setup, Torterra can become a terrifying sweeper. As a starter Pokemon geared toward offense, it learns Earthquake relatively early. Additionally, moves like Wood Hammer are incredibly powerful options in its arsenal. However, this is more of an ideal scenario. While Torterra has been well designed, its severe weakness to Ice types is a significant drawback, especially in Generation 9, where Ice types are receiving buffs. For Torterra to truly shine, it would need a more noticeable adjustment, potentially through new abilities or move options. Therefore, I feel that ranking Torterra at 9 is reasonable. Rank 8 is Decidueye. I can't deny that I really like Decidueye's design, and I think many of you might disagree with me for placing it at this rank. However, compared to other grass-type starters, based on my personal perspective, this is where it belongs. Looking at its stats, Decidueye is clearly more physically inclined, and its special defense is quite decent for a grass-type Pokemon. However, as a bird Pokemon with a speed stat of only 70, it feels like it's sitting at the bottom of society right now. If it's not fast, it should at least have decent endurance. But looking at its physical defense, it's not particularly impressive either. Its dual grass ghost typing isn't bad, granting immunity to 2 types. However, with this typing and low physical defense, it has to be wary of Kingambit's Sucker Punch and Ghost-type attacks from Dragapult. That said, these weaknesses can be mitigated by teaching it Sucker Punch and Terastallizing it into a Dark type. This combo somewhat compensates for its lack of speed. Additionally, it can learn priority moves like Shadow Sneak to address its speed issue. However, priority moves are very common nowadays, and if both Pokemon use them in the same turn, the base speed still determines the order. This means our Archer might get knocked out before it can act. Its signature ability, Long Reach, does make moves like U-Turn more useful, as it avoids effects like Garchomp's Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, or Volcarona's Flame Body. But as mentioned earlier, its slower speed compared to other threats makes it hard for me to rank it higher. Okay, now we move on to rank 7. At rank 7 is Chesnaught, which has a decent stat distribution with very high physical defense, arguably the highest among grass-type starter Pokemon. This allows it to make good use of moves like Body Press, along with a range of fairly useful and well-coverage attacks such as Drain Punch, Wood Hammer, and Seed Bomb. What holds it back is its dual grass fighting typing, which makes it take 4x damage from flying-type moves, and leaves it vulnerable to 5 other types. Let's compare it to another grass fighting Pokemon, Breloom, which not only learns the best sleep-inducing move in the game right now, Spore, but also benefits from the Technician ability paired with the priority move, Mach Punch. Even with these advantages, Breloom still struggles against flying-type Pokemon, so Chesnaught has an even harder time. For instance, it gets knocked out immediately against well-known Pokemon with Hurricane, like Pelipper. That said, Chesnaught does have its strengths. It pairs very well with the Rocky Helmet, draining the HP of physical attackers who rely on contact moves, such as Dragonite, Dragapult, and Kingambit. Its bulletproof ability makes it immune to powerful or annoying moves like Acid Spray, Sludge Bomb, Weather Ball, and Focus Blast. While Chesnaught does have the potential to counter Great Tusk, compared to other veteran grass-type Pokemon, it's still like a rookie slowly building its reputation. That's why I've placed it at rank 7. Now we move on to rank 6, which is Sceptile. For this ranking, I'm only considering its non-Mega form. If we were to include its Mega evolution, it would undoubtedly be ranked first or second on this list. Looking at its base stats, Sceptile has a clear focus on special attack, with its standout feature being its speed of 120, the second highest among grass-type starter Pokemon. This high speed allows it to strike with powerful attacks before most opponents. It can also make use of Giga Drain to recover HP while dealing damage. Additionally, with the Unburden ability, Sceptile can activate Psychic Seed in grassy terrain, granting it a massive speed boost and raising its defense by 1 stage, allowing it to outspeed nearly every opponent. If you prefer a physical build, Sceptile with Swords Dance is also a solid choice. Interestingly, many of its moves are physical, and it has access to powerful options like Leaf Blade, Dual Chop, and Drain Punch. Personally, I find it frustrating that despite having such a wide physical move pool, its base stats aren't geared more toward physical attack. If Sceptile had higher physical attack or more balanced stats, it could have been ranked even higher on this list. Now let's move on to rank 5. Rank 5 is occupied by Hisuian Decidueye, whose dual typing, stats, and abilities are completely different from the current Decidueye. Regarding its stats, Hisuian Decidueye gains an additional 5 points in physical attack and physical defense, while slightly reducing both special stats and speed. This makes it slower than Decidueye, but it hits harder and can hold its ground better in battle. However, defense isn't the main role for Hisuian Decidueye. So what makes Hisuian Decidueye powerful? Let's talk about its signature move, Triple Arrows. This truly exclusive move, if more Pokemon could learn it, it would be too broken, is a fighting type move with a solid base power of 90. On top of that, it comes with 3 secondary effects. 1, a 50% chance to lower the target's physical defense by 1 stage. 2, a 30% chance to cause flinch, preventing the opponent from attacking that turn, provided you attack first. 3, a 12.5% chance to land a critical hit. Using the move even once guarantees one of these beneficial effects, and if you're lucky, you might trigger all 3 effects at once, making this signature move absolutely terrifying. But that's not all. Hisuian Decidueye also has the Scrappy ability, allowing it to hit ghost types with normal damage even when using fighting or normal type moves. This means no Pokemon is immune to its attacks. To fully capitalize on triple arrows, Hisuian Decidueye should equip a Choice Scarf to maximize its speed. However, even with a Choice Scarf, it remains slower than many powerful Pokemon. While it does have access to strong moves like Sucker Punch and Swords Dance, its low speed means it will often take significant damage or faint before it can make a meaningful impact. This is why a Terra Electric type can greatly enhance its survivability on the battlefield. However, most players don't choose Hisuian Decidueye as their primary damage dealer with Terra types. For these reasons, I think rank 5 is already a generous placement. Now we move on to rank 4, which is held by Rillaboom. Rillaboom stands out because it can learn Grassy Glide, a move with increased priority in grassy terrain. Combined with its ability Grassy Surge, which automatically sets up grassy terrain upon entering the battle, this makes Rillaboom a highly popular choice. In addition to this, Rillaboom has its exclusive move, Drum Beating, with a base power of 80 and a guaranteed effect of lowering the opponent's speed. It also benefits from Trailblaze, a move with only 50 base power, but one that always raises Rillaboom's speed by 1 stage, giving it better control over the speed dynamics of the battle. Knock Off is another staple move in Rillaboom's arsenal, trusted by many players for its utility in removing the opponent's held items. Meanwhile, Drain Punch is an excellent choice for sustaining Rillaboom's HP, particularly when facing Pokemon like Kingambit. Trainers can also equip Rillaboom with a Grassy Seed, which increases its physical defense by 1 stage when grassy terrain is active. Pairing this with a Swords Dance setup allows Rillaboom to maximize its offensive potential, making its attacks hit devastatingly hard. With all these tools, this jungle drummer can pack a serious punch, living up to its well-earned rank 4 spot. Let's move on to rank 3. I think rank 3 might make you curious, but with my perspective and experience using Serperior, it can be incredibly terrifying. Let's look at its stats, a peculiar set leaning toward defense and speed. Its speed stat of 113 is its highlight. So what makes it so fearsome? It all comes down to its ability, Contrary. This ability completely reverses all stat changes during battle. It's a perfect counter to well-known abilities like Intimidate. Instead of lowering its physical attack by 1 stage, Contrary increases it by 1 stage. Serperior's iconic combo is Leaf Storm and Contrary. Normally, Leaf Storm deals massive damage, but lowers special attack by 2 stages with each use, meaning it gets weaker the more you use it. However, with Contrary, each use of Leaf Storm increases special attack by 2 stages without any downside. This means you can continuously bombard opponents with Leaf Storm and they'll end up in heaven before they realize what's happening. If paired with an ally that can use Sticky Web, it becomes even easier for Serperior to wipe out an entire team. The ideal Terra type for Serperior would be Grass. At that point, even opponents with resistance to Grass will struggle to withstand its attacks, barely lasting 1 or 2 turns of Leaf Storm. Giga Drain is another effective healing move for Serperior, especially when its special attack is rapidly boosted. However, it does face threats like Corviknight, which is tanky, resists Grass, and can use moves like Defog. Amoonguss is also a problem with its Clear Smog move, which resets all of Serperior's boosted stats. As an alternative to Grass Terra, you could consider giving Serperior a Fire or Steel Terra type and teaching it Terra Blast. Once its special attack is maximized, even types like Ice, Bug, Steel, or Poison will have to be cautious around Serperior. With such massive potential, I'm leaning toward placing Serperior in rank 3. Now, only 2 names remain. That's right, it comes down to Meowscarada and Venusaur. So who's the best Grass-type starter? These 2 names had me quite torn, but from my perspective, just my personal take, rank 2 belongs to Venusaur. Let's review Venusaur's stats first. It's essentially an offensive version of Meganium, but its stat distribution is much more balanced. Its special attack is solid, and its decent HP and physical defense give it good staying power. Unlike Meganium, Venusaur's role isn't to tank hits. Thanks to its Chlorophyll ability, Venusaur is more than capable of becoming a devastating sunsweeper in sunny weather. Pairing it with Torkoal turns it into a nightmare for many players. Its diverse move pool, including Solar Beam and Sludge Bomb, gives it excellent offensive coverage. On top of that, Venusaur learns a wide variety of utility moves like Sleep Powder, something a defensive Pokémon like Meganium could only dream of having, Synthesis, which restores 50% of its HP in sunny weather, and Growth, which boosts both its physical and special attack by 2 stages under the sun. Yes, Venusaur's power comes entirely from sunny weather, so you need to take full advantage of that. As for the ideal Terra type, Fire might be the best choice to maximize the damage of Weather Ball in sunny weather. I placed Venusaur in rank 2, not because it's weaker than rank 1, but because I believe Meowscarada deserves the top spot. Its stats and moveset lean heavily toward the physical side, and its speed of 123 is the highest among all Grass-type starters, and all starters in general. This title once belonged to Greninja, but with Meowscarada's arrival, it now holds the crown. With this speed, Meowscarada is one of the fastest Pokémon in Gen 9. Its ability, Protean, is already incredibly powerful and versatile. Combined with its high speed and moves like U-turn, it can take advantage of Bug-type Stab while switching out to bring in another teammate. Pokémon with high speed like Dragapult and Greninja often use U-turn to pivot and mitigate damage, and Meowscarada is no exception. What's more, after switching out and returning to battle, Protean can activate again. Its signature move, Flower Trick, has a base power of 70 and always lands critical hits, making its effective power 105 with no risk of missing or stat drops. Since it's a Grass-type move, it also benefits from Stab, making it incredibly dangerous to prominent ground and water-type threats like Great Tusk and Palafin. In addition to Protean, Overgrow is also a viability for Meowscarada if you want to utilize both its Grass and Dark-type Stab. With Protean, it only gets Stab from the type it changes to, so choosing Overgrow can be strategic depending on the situation. Overall, Meowscarada has strong stats in all the right areas, a diverse and powerful move pool, including its signature move and an iconic ability. Personally, I think crowning Meowscarada as the strongest Grass-type starter makes sense. What about you? Which Grass-type starter do you think is the strongest? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for the next videos in this series. See you next time. Bye-bye.